Alrighty, impromptu tag time, but it's been a while since I did one, and I just saw a really fun one, so I thought I would do it. I saw it through Priscilla from the Readables, and she tagged anyone with book in their username. It's the Would You Rather tag, and let's see if she says who started it. Ray K Books started it, so sweet. I will leave all the links below to all that and the questions, but I'm gonna get right into it. Got my questions, I've got my readables. Let's do this. You're probably familiar with Would You Rather, so I'm not going to explain, but this is all Would You Rather about books. Number 1, would you rather only read trilogies or standalones? I had a video a while back. I don't know why I just sounded like a Southern belle. I had a video. Oh my stars and garters, I had a video. I had a video a while back for Book Chat, which I need to get back into, by the way, that was about series books versus standalone books, and I think the conclusion was that I am definitely a standalone person. When it is a series, I prefer them to be self-contained, and I can start at any point in the series. I can only read the ones that I'm interested in, and not be sucked into a never-ending cycle of the same thing rewritten over and over and over, because that drives me out of my mind. There are some excellent series, of course, and I love them, and it would be sad not to be able to read them anymore, like Harry Potter. Sorry for any weirdness, I filled out my card. Okay, shiny new one in camera, let's go! What was I saying? Oh, like Harry Potter. But I definitely am more eager to read a book when I find out it's a standalone. Not more eager, I mean, I still want to read the books regardless of whether they're a standalone or a series, but I definitely sometimes feel like if I start this, then I'm going to want to take on the rest, and do I really want to do that? So I end up putting them off. So, long story short, standalone. Number 2, read only female or male authors. Oh boy. There are some male authors that I absolutely adore. I'd be sad if I couldn't read David Mitchell or Haruki Murakami anymore. There are a lot of them, but looking at my shelves and looking at my favorites, I would definitely go with female authors. First of all, I am a rereader, so to not be able to reread my Jane Austen books or Anne of Green Gables or An Old-Fashioned Girl, anything like that would make me really sad. I mean, every now and then I need to binge on Laura Ingalls Wilder. If I couldn't do that, that'd make me sad. Also, though, a lot of my favorite contemporary authors, so I would be really sad, and I would have a lot of wasted space on my bookshelves if I couldn't read any more Margaret Atwood, because I have a lot of Margaret Atwood sitting on my shelves and I wouldn't be allowed to touch it. Same with Toni Morrison. I'd be really sad if I couldn't finish reading the things that I have by her. Or in YA, there are so many I think would make me more sad than if I couldn't read the men. So no offense to the men, but yeah, my favorites, I'd have to go with women. Third question, only shop at Barnes & Noble or Amazon? I want to be able to say Barnes & Noble because I definitely like browsing in a real bookstore and seeing them. However, I would have to go out of town. I don't have a Barnes & Noble. If you just mean physical bookstore, I would probably choose that, and I would choose a really good one. But if we're going literally, I have to choose Amazon. Now, if we're going physical versus just online in general, I would probably end up with somewhere like Better World Books. But literally, even though I hate to say it, I'd have to choose Amazon because I wouldn't be able to really bookshop otherwise. That's a fate worse than death. Number 4, would you rather books become movies or TV shows? TV shows all the way. I think one of the things we hate about book to movie adaptations is it becomes so condensed that you miss a lot of your favorite parts. With a TV show, you can explore it more in depth, and we're seeing through things like Game of Thrones that having that extra time, even though things are still cut, you really get to get more involved, and the changes that are made are interesting, and things don't get cut down so much for the sake of time that they start losing their meaning and stop making sense. So definitely TV shows. Number 5, read 5 pages per day or 5 books per week? Definitely 5 books per week. Who would say 5 pages per day? Finding the time, of course, to do 5 books a week is the question. But, I mean, you can always work in, if you have to meet a quota, just pick up some graphic novels or some kids' books or something. But yeah, not 5 pages per day, I'd be sad. I get kind of, you know how you get angry sometimes if you're hungry? I get hangry. I also get angry if I haven't read, so we need a word for that. But I do get a little short with people if it's been a while since I've been able to sit down and read for pleasure. I get lit raged. Oh, so many things have fallen on my printer. Probably doesn't even work anymore. Number 6, be a professional reviewer or author? I don't think you are precluded from them if you choose one or the other, but I mean, this is would you rather. So Oh, I'm gonna go with author, because then I would still be able to create. I like to create things. So if I was a reviewer, all I would get to do is read, but I wouldn't get to do the writing. If I'm an author, I would get to do the writing, but I'd still get to read. I just wouldn't be professionally reviewing it. Still push books on people, so that's the best of both worlds. Author all the way. Number 7 is read the same 20 books, your favorite 20 books, over and over for the rest of your life, or only be allowed to read books that you haven't read yet. I don't know. I already said I'm a rereader, and I could pick judiciously and try to give myself variety. I could probably be content with 20 books, and it's not like I don't know the plots of those favorite books, so maybe I should go with the new ones. I would have a lot of wasted books if I could only read 20, but to not be able to reread my favorite books would make me really sad. There are film adaptations, though, of most of them. I liked Priscilla's answer, and that she would like to become a sort of mini expert on those books by rereading them over and over. Oh, only new books. Oh, God. Only new books. 8, be a librarian or be a bookseller. I'm gonna go with bookseller. I would like being a librarian too, but I think as a librarian, your job is less about being able to recommend books and more about doing all of the job stuff. I mean, you do get asked for recommendations, but I don't think in the way that you do with a bookstore. Most libraries, some are kind of coming around and being almost more like bookstores and having staff picks and things like that. But I mean, at a bookstore, that's kind of a focus. You always have the staff picks, you have the signings, and your whole job is just book pushing, whereas in a library, it's not. That's not the case. I love my libraries, and I love my librarians, and most of my friends are librarians, but I'm gonna go with bookseller. Number 9, only read your favorite genre or every genre except for your favorite. I'm definitely gonna go with favorite genre. I think I have a little bit of an advantage in this, and that my favorite genre is fantasy, which encompasses a lot. So fairy tales fall under that. Fantasy can be written in any style, so I could have contemporary, I could have classic fantasy, I can have historical fantasy, I can have epic fantasy, so I can still feel like I'm reading a lot of different things that are all still fantasy. And you have some that are just slightly fantastical, like magical realism. You have huge, overblown fantasies. You really have a pretty wide range that can fall anywhere on the spectrum, so best of both worlds. It would cut out some of my favorites, which would be sad, but I can read the fantasy mashups of those favorites, so there's that, I guess. But to never be allowed to read fantasy again would make me sad. And the last one is only be able to read physical books or ebooks. I'll let you guess on that one. Physical. I love you, ebooks, but you gotta go. That was all the questions. There is the tag. That was a really fun one, so thank you Ray K Books for creating that, and Priscilla for tagging me by default. And because I really liked Priscilla's way of tagging people and kind of making it fun, I am going to tag anyone whose name, real name or username, starts with a letter between F and N. Your name starts between F and N, you've been tagged. That's all for now. As always, thanks for watching and happy reading. I don't even know what that was. And the last one is only be like a really fun one, so thanks for who created it. Let's get physical, physical.